This is the new Microsoft Outlook. In '07, Outlook didn't quite make the cut for the ribbon. They decided to put that off another time. So in 2010, all the products now have the ribbon, and Outlook is definitely no exception. It's very typical. You know, you've got home, send and receive. My folder is here, and I can create all kinds of different types of folders. My views are here. I have a developer tab because quite often I'll build different forms and things inside Outlook. And then I also have an Adobe PDF tab, and that's because I have Acrobat Professional Writer installed. File is where you find a lot of things like your account settings. This is where I can change and add different accounts. I can also use some of my different cleanup tools that allows me to clean up my mailbox. It'll look for old messages. It'll look for large attachments, different things that tend to clutter your mailbox up, and it will move it to a cleanup folder. So it doesn't permanently get rid of it. It's almost like throwing it into the recycling bin, and then you can go through it and decide exactly what really is junk and what isn't. Another cleanup tool that you have is archiving. Quite often in an organization, you have a limit on the size of your inbox. Well, if you have a limit on the size of your inbox, there are certain messages that you do need to keep for record-keeping purposes. So using archives allows you to create a new set of inbox folders, and it stays off of the mail server, and you can move that to a network drive so it gets backed up at night. But it basically allows you another avenue for cleaning up your inbox or cleaning up your whole mailbox, and you can still access your different items. Under Open is how I can open different things, like open another user's calendar. I can open a Outlook data file, so like a PST file. I can also import different settings and things and open other users' folders. So if somebody decides to share their contacts or share a folder with me, I can head to File, I can go to Open, and I can open up whichever file folder that they've decided to share with me on Microsoft Outlook. My print is here. Print is very specific. Depending on the view that you're in, depending on what you've clicked on, this is what's going to show up in print. So if I switch to my calendar, this is different. If I switch to an email message, this becomes different. Help is still found here as well. So under File, I can go to Help and actually get some help with the product. The online help is actually quite good. So if you haven't had a chance, take a look at the online help. It's quite good. Also underneath File are your options. These are all your different options. I have general options. My mail options are here. By default, you may want to check and make sure that spell check is checked off. By default, it usually isn't. Your stationery, your fonts. This is where you can create your signature. So I can click on signatures, and I have multiple signatures. I have casual, a formal signature, and a temporary signature. To create new signatures, you have a new button that's here. You no longer have to pull it into Word to insert pictures and things like that. You have a lot of the same editing capabilities here within this window to insert pictures or hyperlinks or even attach V-cards. You then decide exactly which signature that you want to use to send messages. For new messages, I use the formal one, which has all my details, and then for replies, it's more of a casual one. There's also personal stationery, but this is where you can set different themes, and there's lots of different themes that you can choose from. There's loads. You can also change the font here for new mail messages, the font for replying and forwarding messages, and composing and reading text messages. You can choose a font and a size for that as well. I'll get out of there. My calendar options are here, so I can set my start times and end times, my work times, and all that jazz. Different display options, so I can change the font for the date navigator if you find that a little bit too small. This is also where I can set different time zones. My scheduling assistant and my resource scheduling is in here too. Under contacts, it's very typical how to sort it, how you want it displayed. If I go to tasks, this really hasn't changed at all. Default reminders, you can change the number of hours per working day. Notes and journal also has a few different options here and there. And then you have some searching options. So you can always search the current folder or always search all the folders. And you can even specify exactly how it searches and indexes the different folders that you have. Under mobile, this is all your mobile settings if you're going to be using a mobile device. Your language and keyboard settings are here. You have some advanced settings. This is where auto archive is kept. This is the file folder that it starts Outlook in all the time. To be honest, I don't actually start it in my inbox. I usually go to Browse. I usually start it at the top of the entire structure here. So I usually start it here. My auto archive, my reminders, so I can set them and decide exactly what it sounds like. My RSS feeds, send and receiving features are here. For developers, for creating custom forms, I have some features that I can play with, as well as some international options as well that I can play with. You can customize your ribbon here. You can also customize your quick access toolbar and add different things to the toolbar. My add-ins are here as well as my Trust Center is here as well. I'll get out of there. I'll go back to home. You have something new. It's called Quick Steps. And with Quick Steps, I could set up things like a team email. When I click on team email, what this is going to do is this is going to send out a team email. So I can click on team email. It's called team email. And then I decide, well, who's my team? So this is the first time you set it up. The first time that you set this up, it memorizes it. So I can select different people that are members of my team. I don't think I have much in here, which I don't. So I can select all these people, and I can say, yeah, these people are my team. So now when I click on this team email button, it creates a brand new mail message that's addressed to my team. The reason for the blocks beside their names, it shows me their status. It shows me whether they're online or offline. As you can see, it's just starting to kick in now. Patrick here is online, so I get to see his status. I'll close that off, and I'll get out of there. These are almost like macros. They're almost like the rule wizard. So I can go to create new and choose an action. But it's a quick step. A quick step is, moving to a folder, copying to a folder, deleting something permanently, setting a flag or an importance level. There's all kinds of different actions that you can apply and different things that you can do. And you can add multiple actions. So you can have it do 4 or 5 different things. And that way it's a single button, or it can also be a shortcut key too. I'll hit cancel and I'll get out of there. My rules are kept here, so I can manage my rules and create different inbox rules. So if I'm getting a lot of junk mail, or if I want to move certain things to a certain file folder, I can definitely create a rule for it, so it happens automatically. If you got dial-up, that's what send and receive is for. There's no real reason to use this for high speed, but for dial-up, you do have a lot of different features that are in here. Next tab I want to take a look at is View. With the View tab, I can show things in conversations, and what it does is it actually groups it. But I can also click on Date, and it sorts everything by the date. I can click on From, it sorts everything by From. I usually turn this reading pane off that's here, so I usually turn that off. Under Layout, or in the Layout section, I have Reading pane. Right now it's on the right, but I usually turn it off. Watch the columns on the left-hand side. So I'll click on Off, and I get a lot more columns to play with. The columns are clickable, so you can actually click on categories or size or received, and it resorts your inbox that way. My navigation pane right now is normal. Your navigation pane is the pane on the left-hand side. You do have an option of minimizing it. and that minimizes the pane. You still see everything here. It's just a smaller view. I'll fold that back out. Also part of view, you can change your view to compact, single, or preview. Normally I keep mine at preview. What this does is it shows me the first couple lines of every single message. So this, in my opinion, is better than any preview pane. This actually shows you all the different messages and shows you a few different lines from that message. You have view settings, so this is where you can create different columns and things. If you miss the organize button, where you could use the organize button to move stuff or use the organize button to color email, you've got to go to your view settings now and use conditional formatting to do all that stuff. So this will help you actually color different people's email messages according to their name. I've got my to-do bar. My to-do bar sits on the right-hand side. It shows me all the different things that I've got to do, all the things that I flag. And I do actually use my to-do bar quite a bit. And these are all the different things that appear on my view bar. The people pane is what shows up when you open up a piece of mail or an appointment that has a few people invited. And it basically shows the same information as my frequent contacts here. To create a brand new mail message, I can head to Home. I can click on New Mail. It has all the typical things that it always has. It's just displayed differently. So I can attach files. I can attach items like a calendar item or an Outlook mail message. There's the signature as well, so I can insert signatures, all that stuff. I can flag the message for follow-up. You can no longer choose colored messages, colored flags, so that has also kind of changed. I can also mark things as high and low importance. When you are working with the body, you can insert lots of different things. Files, tables, pictures, clip art. This is Word. This is identical. You have options, and these are very specific options to this mail message. I can have the replies redirected. I can delay the delivery time, or I don't even have to save this particular message in my sent items. You can then move on to formatting the text, changing the styles, using different styles and changing them. Review is very typical, where you have your spell check, your thesaurus, all that stuff. And then again, as I mentioned, I have a developer tab because I quite often create my own forms. If I go to the calendar here, here I've got the calendar, and I can actually see Karen's calendar as well as mine. So what I've done here is I've actually overlaid the two, but I can have them sit separately. When you overlay it, what you're doing is you're putting one calendar on top of another calendar, and then you can actually see stuff all the way through it. So if I put in an appointment here, right, I'll save and close it. When I overlay Karen's calendar on top of it, I still see my appointments as well as hers. So for assistance, this is just incredible. Really, really neat feature. What I've done, though, is I've created what's known as a group calendar. On the Home tab, a little more than halfway through, you have group calendars. Because I've got Link installed, I can also host a new online meeting right away. I can create new appointments, new meetings, and these are the rest of my other new items. You have multiple views: day, work week, a month view. I like the scheduling view. Shows everything as a Gantt, so I like that. I can email the calendar. I can also publish it online. This is how you share your calendar. This is how you protect your calendar's permissions so that people aren't seeing stuff that they shouldn't be looking at. If I head to send and receive, again, this is more for dial-up. I also have different folders, so I can create my own calendar, create a new one, and take a look at calendar properties here too. Under View, this is everything visual. So this is where you can go in and change what you're looking at on the screen. And again, I've got a developer tab. That is the calendar portion of Outlook. And now for the contacts. Contacts hasn't changed too much, really. When you create a new contact, it still basically is what it is. You fill out the first name and the whole name, all that stuff, how you communicate with them. So I can email, create a meeting. I can forward this contact to somebody else. So again, very, very typical. When I have a contact that's filled out and I open it up, again, there's all these different things that I can do with it. There's my there's the address, and I can fill out the address and send it off to somebody. Again, very, very, very typical. I'll close that off and I'll get out of there. Tasks I use quite often. This one I really do like to use, but it hasn't changed at all. There really hasn't been much change in here. When I create a brand new task, it has the tabs across the top, but it's all the same features. You can send status reports like you've always been able to. I can take a look at more details of this task. I can assign it. As I said, you can send status reports. I can also change the recurrence patterns for it, so it recurs every Tuesday or every Wednesday. And then I can also categorize it. And then I've got a flag to follow up. I'll close that off, and I'll get out of there. If you want to see a list of folders, you do have a button at the bottom that's your folder list, and that hasn't changed at all. This way, I can see every single folder that I have, and some of the ones that I've created myself. Because I've opened the folder list, I also have access to my RSS feeds. With my RSS feeds, these are like a ticker tape. Here I've created one for CNN, and what this does is this downloads all the latest CNN headlines. So this way, I don't actually have to go to the web page. I just show up here, and I can see all the different latest news headlines without actually going to the page. I'll head back to my inbox. And that is Microsoft Outlook 2010.